Hello, hello, it's me, Arden Lee, and I'm back today with another video on a phenomenon that I am calling self-fulfilling scarcity. Where are you creating more scarcity in your life by operating from a place of it? And I'm hopefully going to try and break this down in a way that is a little more easily applicable than merely just think abundance and have it. so, um, Before I start in on that topic, if you are not familiar already, I am the creator of the Repatterning Project, and if you want to learn more about the Repatterning Project, which is an 8-week course that I teach online, as well as a community surrounding that course, you can go ahead and look at the link that I have in the description box below, which is a link to a free PDF guide on the repatterning modality, and also there is a link to the Repatterning Parlor, which is a free group that I run on Facebook for like-minded individuals who are looking to get together to hack their patterns and their beliefs to optimize their lives for success and happiness. So join us, join me. I would love to meet you. Come and hang out and watch your life get awesome. So what is self-fulfilling scarcity? Essentially, we have some modes of operating sometimes in which we are so afraid of scarcity, operating from a place where we assume that that's happening to us, that we start acting in ways that actually start creating that. So how does that work necessarily? Because you would think that if you're experiencing scarcity, let's say it's getting toward the end of the month and you're looking to pay your bills, and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to go and make some money. Now, if you're confident in your ability to do that, you may go out and, you may hustle and you may say, okay, I got this, and I know what I'm doing because I know how to come from that place of creating abundance for myself when I need it. I have that faith and that confidence in my ability to do that for myself. However, if you are someone who is operating from that place of self-fulfilling scarcity, then you may go out there and you may get immediately frustrated because it may seem overwhelming. It may be that you have you have ways of going out and creating wealth for yourself when you have your energies restored. But if there's so much stress because you need to pay your rent, in 5 days from now or whenever it is, then you actually compromise your ability to hold that space for bringing that in, right? Let's say that you are an entrepreneur, you work in sales or what have you. Well, if you're selling on the phone to someone who is trying to purchase your products or your services, and you have this really strong need to close that sale, they might sense that desperation in your voice, and they might feel that they're being that they're being hoodwinked, well, if your product is so great, then why are you laying it on so thick, or whatever, or why do you sound desperate if you're whatever you're selling me is so wonderful, why are you having such a hard time selling it? Why are you acting like this one sale that you're making with me is like your make or break? And it might be because for that month, maybe it is, maybe that's where you're at. But whatever business you're in, you want to start looking at that, and you want to start looking at the ways that when you do earn money, you often earn it from that place of like, oh yeah, I'm good. Like, I got this. I can bring more in. I'm not attached to this because I'm confident in my ability to earn money for myself. And when you are in that space, it's going to be a lot easier. Now, self-fulfilling scarcity doesn't just happen around financial matters. It can also happen in relationships too. So let's imagine that you start dating someone and everything is going pretty well for a couple dates or whatever, but then you start getting panicky about like, wow, I think I'm getting invested in this person, and what if they leave me? What do I do? I can't let that happen. So sometimes there are actually two divergent ways of creating this self-fulfilling scarcity, and they are known as the opposite polarities of anxious and avoidant attachment style. Anxious people who crave that attachment and who act in ways that are motivated by not wanting people to abandon them will sometimes disappear themselves and uh, erase all of their charming, natural, charismatic qualities that that person who they're dating was attracted to in them in the first place, because they don't want to rock the boat. That person who is feeling that anxious attachment, they're like, let me just be pleasing, or let me just be kind of blank, or let me kind of like freeze. I'm just gonna freeze, and I'm not going to do anything at all. If this is sort of like the first verse of my song, "The Death of Me." If you guys are familiar with my band, Arden and the Wolves, you can check that out. There's lots of my songs on YouTube too, whether they're some of the live performances are on my channel, or you can just look up Arden and the Wolves and you'll see under the distributor, the videos that come up there. And in the first verse of "The Death of Me," it goes, "Maybe if I don't move, it won't break. Maybe I could just stay still and wait for roots to take. A confluence of chemicals is overtaking me. Oh, and I can't breathe." So essentially, that was about that anxious attachment of being like, "Oh God, I think I'm hooked, and now I don't know what to do. Now I'm just gonna freeze, or I'm gonna act in ways that are really pleasing." We talked in some other videos about the trauma response, or the stress response of freezing or fawning. So sometimes you just freeze, and then all of those warm, charismatic qualities end up going away in you, or you fawn and you start focusing so much on the other person's needs that you erase yourself. And this behavior, even though it's motivated by trying to get that person to come closer, often it can make that person actually want to distance themselves from you, because that's not the person that you were when they were attracted to you. So that is a way of creating self-fulfilling scarcity in relationship. And in addition to that anxious attachment style, you can also create avoidant attachment. Avoidant attachment, sometimes the people who are attached avoidantly actually want they want that closeness, and they want that attachment just as much as the people who are anxiously attached, but they're so scared of it that they essentially get paralyzed and they don't know what to do, and they end up isolating, and out of that fear of abandonment anyway, and they're like, I don't know what to do, I don't want to face that hurt, so therefore I'm just going to isolate myself, and I'm going to withdraw from this situation, and I'm going to create this self-imposed isolation, because I'm already catastrophizing in my head all the ways that this is going to go wrong, and now, oh gosh, now it's too late, now I've withdrawn, and now I think I lost their interest, and I just suck, so I'm just going to sit here and talk about how I fucked up. And the more I talk about how I fucked up, the more I'm gonna like wallow in the fact that I fucked up, and I'm just gonna keep fucking everything up because I'm a fuck up or whatever, right? And so that story perpetuates, when really that self-imposed isolation could be just completely in their heads, where maybe if they just did reach out to that person again, it'd be like, oh yeah, hey, I'd love to see you, where have you been, or whatever. So however that ends up going, that is another way of creating self-fulfilling scarcity in a relationship, is or with your relationships in general. Another way of creating self-fulfilling scarcity is if you have a lot of friendships that you feel are not reciprocal for you, where you may be giving your time and energy to people who are not giving that time and energy back to you, and you think that just by giving more and more of yourself, that's going to create that desire for reciprocity in them, but instead you're actually just depleting your resources, and you are creating this dynamic where you're giving yourself away and you're not getting anything back. So of course that leaves you feeling drained. Of course that leaves you feeling empty. So again, self-fulfilling scarcity. You're essentially you're creating that scarcity by giving too much of yourself away to people who are perpetuating your scarcity narrative by not giving back to you and not supporting you. So there you have it. So there's another way that can happen. And the ways to stop these patterns, is to feel that confidence and that warmth and that security, to know that, even if it takes you some work, to know that you can really work and support yourself, that you have the ability to create wealth. Start from there. Start from saying, like, you could even start from saying, I don't know how to create wealth for myself, so I don't have that confidence. You may be saying that right now. You may be saying, Arden, I don't know how to pay my rent by the end of the month. How am I supposed to feel that way if I don't already? And I'm so glad you asked that question, because there you've started solving that problem already just by acknowledging that you don't know, that you know that there's something that you don't know. And now that you know that there's something that you don't know, you can go out and you can learn it. You can even start on YouTube by looking up how to create more wealth in a month, how to create extra income. And the more you put yourself in the vibration of finding that solution, you may not feel today like you know how to create wealth for yourself, but I hope that you feel that you have the ability to learn. And you might say, I'm going to go watch some free videos on YouTube and learn how to create a little bit of extra income. And then once I'm feeling capable of creating a little bit of extra income, wow, maybe I could actually buy a program that teaches me how to create more wealth with the extra income that I just created for myself. And then I'm going to trade up and I'm going to trade up and I'm going to trade up. That could probably actually be its own video just by itself. I'll probably actually at one point do a longer one about trading up in your wealth mindset, using the money that, figuring out how to create just a little bit more income for yourself and setting that income aside to learn new and better ways to create more and more, and trading up, et cetera, et cetera. So even if you don't feel like you know how to do that right now, I hope you can feel confident that you can look up some material on the internet and learn it. And that shift, that adjustment of coming back into your competence, your capability, your feelings that you can actually, now you actually may feel that you can create wealth because, oh gosh, I can learn how to do that. If I don't know how to do it right now, it's fine. I'm admitting that I don't know how to do it, and I'm going to go learn. I'm going to go figure that out. And in your relationships, figuring out how to just relax and trust that the right relationships are going to come to you, and not creating so much fear around scarcity that you end up pushing people away. Hi, Virgil. Virgil created some self-fulfilling scarcity earlier today when he decided to annoy the fuck out of me to go and feed him, which I did, and then he went and ate, and he promptly threw up. And then he rushed at me to ask to feed him again, I guess because he'd just thrown up. And I said, no, I'm not going to feed you again because you just threw everything up. You need to chill out for a while and wait till your stomach gets better, and then we'll have some dinner together. How about that? After we make a couple videos, we'll go and we'll make some salmon. How about that? So it self-fulfilling scarcity can happen to everyone. Virgil wanted his food so badly that he ate too fast and he threw it up, which created more scarcity. And then he asked me for more, and I said, no, I'm not going to do that for you because you just threw up. But if he has faith that we're going to have salmon for dinner again, like we did last night, if he has faith that that's going to happen on a fairly, that we have dinner and we eat together, then everything's going to be okay, and you're going to be able to have your salmon and get fed. So, and finally with your friendships, just remember that there are 8 billion people on the planet, and if people are not reciprocating with you, it's fine to draw a personal boundary, and it's fine to say, hey, I'm going to go where I'm loved, I'm going to go somewhere else. Virgil's going to go somewhere where he's not loved right now, I guess, apparently, or not being petted. Or maybe he's just going somewhere where he has a little more space so I can still grab his tail. Anyway, I hope that this was helpful, and do look at the places that you may be creating scarcity in your life, and if you want some help with that and help in how to create more abundance instead, do click those links and learn about the Repatterning Project. We'd love to see you there for the course, but also just join the free Facebook group and meet some people who are also seeking to cultivate those same mindsets, and see if you can learn from some of that energy. Just assimilate some of that into your field, and you'll start creating more abundance already. Thank you again for watching, and hopefully I'll see you there.